the beginning of it, I left a couple areas because I just liked how the initial washes that I put down turned out, and it's almost uh, they weren't even really intentional. That there, I was kind of just mapping out the composition and trying colors, and there was just some. I think I was working on it on the floor, so they didn't drip as much, and so there was some areas where it just kind of the water fanned out, the paint fanned out, and created some interesting effects. And I wanted to leave some of that in, and then I have some highly modeling areas where I'm working a lot of paint marks and modeling uh, colors together, mixing straight on the canvas, and I like juxtaposing those two ideas together. And then there's some areas where it's just paint marks, and there's more space between each mark, so that there's more underpainting showing through. And so a lot of the work I do, I try to have this these three stages kind of, or three approaches of ways of working on a painting showing through on each painting. So Heart of Plenty, I think, is a great example of that, where I have underpainting working against heavily painted areas, and some of those heavily painted areas is more modeling and creating some volume, whereas other areas it's more about mark making and just uh, having having these marks intertwined and intermingling, so to speak. So yeah, the contours seem to come first, and the mark making kind of sets up the structure of a composition, and sometimes those are removed, and sometimes more are added, and then I, f- I I feel like I come in after that with the more modeling or uh, just various treatments of the surface. It, it almost feels like there's two different things going on there, but there's still this same attitude of immediacy. I'm working in acrylic, so working wet on wet, you got to work fast, and you you can't linger on an area too long without re-wetting it. When you keep re-wetting an area, then it either becomes a puddle if you're laying the piece down, or it's dripping all over the place. And sometimes I encourage both those things, but other times I am just modeling the surface and the shapes that those contours are suggesting or defining.